Hey y'all. Okay, so you should be at the section, or you should be in the group where you are writing equations from word problems and graphing those equations, okay? So we are going to write equations in slope-intercept form from the word problems, all right? And so in my corner down here, let me write a few notes. So notes. Oops, down here. Down here I'm writing notes. So some of the notes I want to remember is that y equals mx plus b. All right. I know m is slope, b is y intercept. Y-intercept. I know you can't really understand what that says. That's the y-intercept. Okay? And with word problems, it's important to understand key words that will help me identify if a number is the slope or if a number is the y-intercept. So for y-intercept, we have words like phi, initial, base, cost. Those are like the three main ones. Starting point, right? It's the starting. All right, and for slope, words such as per, each, for, every, among other ones. A. Those are words that will help me determine if the number represents slope or y-intercept, okay? So let's read the first problem. We're going to read this problem, then we're going to write an equation. We're going to answer a following question, and then we are going to graph it, okay? So let's read the first problem. It says, you are visiting Baltimore, Maryland, and a taxi company charges a flat fee of $3. Oh, flat fee. Interesting. For using the taxi and 75 cents per mile. Interesting. So we have the word fee and we have the word mile, right? So flat fee per mile. Not the word mile, we have the word per mile. So A tells me to write an equation that you could use to find the cost of the taxi ride in Baltimore, Maryland. Let X represent the number of miles and Y represent the total cost. So my equation is always going to be Y equals mx plus b, right? So Y equals something X plus something. We said for slope M, I should see words such as per, each, for every, A. Here, it says per mile. So that 75 cents should be my slope. So I'm going to put 0.75x. Plus B. For B, it represents my y-intercept. We see words like fee, initial, base, cost, starting. Here, it says flat fee. Flat fee of $3. So plus 3 as my B. So we know, okay, so the total cost equals 75 cents per mile plus your $3 fee. So how much would a taxi ride for 8 miles cost? So we know miles is represented by X. So I have to plug this into there. So my equation is Y equals 0.75X plus 3, right? So I have to plug in. So instead of writing X, I'm going to put 8 in parentheses to remind me to multiply. Side by side means you multiply. Plus 3. So Y equals, let me use my handy dandy calculator, 0.75 times 8. So 0.75 times 8 is 6. 6 plus 3. So Y equals 9. Y we know is the total cost. So the total cost for 8 miles is $9. So it'll cost $9. All right, you just plug in for your X. That's it. You multiply your slope by the number they're asking and add your B. All right, so if we were to graph this, the best thing to do is to set up a table. Okay, it's to set up a table. So you have your X and you have your Y. So we have a bunch of different equations. So I know my X here represents the miles, and my Y is the total cost. I turned my paper so I can write total cost. Okay, so now I'm going to choose some numbers to figure out how much it costs every time I travel a different number of miles. So let's say 0. Let me use 2. Let's go by 2s. You go by any numbers you want. It's up to you as long as your graph makes sense. that's fine. So 0. So my x is 0. I'm going to do the same thing and plug in here. So y equals 0.75 times 0 plus 3. So y equals 0.75 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3, y equals 3. Okay, so at 0 miles, it cost me $3, which makes sense because $3 is a flat fee. $3 is a flat fee, so it makes sense. All right, so now we got to find, okay, for $2, so the same thing. For 2, y equals 0.75 times 2 plus 3. So y equals 0.75 times 2 is 1.5 plus 3. Y equals 1.5 plus 3 is 4.5. So if I travel 2 miles, it cost me $4.5. Got it? All right. What about 4 miles? I'm going to go down here and do it down here because I don't have space over here. So y equals 0.75 times whatever miles it is. It's 4 miles plus 3. Y equals 0.75 times 4 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, so y equals 6. So if I travel 4 miles, it cost me $6. Now let's try for 6. At 6 miles, how much does it cost me? And I can put 8 in because I already know 8 cost me $9. We already solved that up here. So y equals 0.75 times 6 plus 3. Y equals 0.75 times 6 is 4.5 plus 3. Y equals 7.5. So at 6 miles, it cost me $7.5. It cost me $7.5. So now I have to choose numbers on my x and y axis. So I can choose numbers that I already have here, right? So for my miles, I can say 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. I can keep going 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. But obviously I didn't solve for those. And then I'm going to go up by these numbers here. I can go up by 0.5. I can go up by 1s. I can go up by 2s, 3s. It does not matter. So let's say I go up by 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Y'all see? 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I got to plot my points. At 0 miles, it cost me $3. So that's my first point, which makes sense because that's my y-intercept. Is where it touches the y-axis. At 2 miles, I have to pay $4.50. So at 2 miles, I go up between 4 and 5 right here, $4.50. At 4 miles, I have to pay $6. So at 4 miles, I pay $6. My point should be right there. At 6 miles, I pay $7.50. So my point should be right here between 7 and 8. At 8 miles, I pay $9. So 8, I go up to 9. Now I can connect them. So this line represents this equation that we just found. Y equals 0.75 x plus 3, right? This line represents that. We found the equation. We plugged in to figure out how much it would cost for 8 miles. Then we created a table to figure out how we would plot our points in order to create the graph. So whatever x you choose, you plug in for x to get what your y would be. All right, so go ahead and attempt the next 4 on your own.